welcome to For the Story, the only podcast that is remaking Dr. Dolittle again, but Jewish this time. I'm Ash.
And I'm Avery. And I'm waiting for that movie.
Yeah, this week we watched Avatar.
Yes. Oh, actually, comparison. Oh, that works really, really well. Yes. No, we didn't watch Avatar, contrary to popular belief, although it did have a similar kind of, like,
animation,
appeal.
Right?
Yeah, very similar animation. Yeah.
Like,
interesting.
honestly, if this had come out in 2008, this would
probably would have looked like, pretty good.
It would have been like, wow, look at how futuristic we are. We are really coming together with CGI.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We actually watched Cats in all reality. You probably saw that from the title. Yes, we saw it. We fucking did it. We buckled down.
Oh my god.
I almost didn't make it through the movie. It was terrifying. It's so shocking.
Avery texted me. I don't think I could do it. I said, fuck you. I already had to.
It's true. I had no real intentions on leaving. I just wanted to be dramatic. So I had gone to the bathroom and I was just like trying to process everything I had seen up to that point. And I was like, I absolutely have to text Asher about this because it's shocking. It's really like the balls on the filmmakers.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, honestly, also the balls on you to try and blame your drinking on this movie was just insane. You're like, this is why I drink.
The thought of the Cats ever having been produced.
This just came out. You really can't blame it on that.
No, man. It's been in my heart for decades.
So you loved it. All right. Sweet.
Yes, cats. I can't believe we did this. It's all like my fault too. Like I was the one who was like, we have to review this, right? Which is just, I'm so glad I drew you into this insanity. I did it, Ash. I kind of knew
we had to watch it. Like there was no way.
It's just like there's so much controversy surrounding it, and it's such a ridiculous concept. And like from that trailer that came out, when did it come out? It was like the middle of the summer. We've been talking about it for so long. It's like,
because those cats were so fucking sexy. Like I didn't know what to do.
Why did they have to be sexy? It was so weird.
They toned it down too. They got rid of most of the cat boobs except for on Taylor Swift, which is weird because she's a rather flat-chested woman.
Honestly, I
she had like
I wonder if that was like part of her contract.
I bet you're right.
Giant furry cat tits.
Because like they changed it so they had less boobs.
Yeah. I mean, like honestly, I can't really remember, but I feel like while watching, I thought the same thing. I was just like, I thought that it was gonna like seem more sexualized than it would, and I'm really glad that they toned it down. It was just still so strange.
I don't know. Some of those like it's no fault of the Cats CGI people, but just all the dancer legs, I was just like, wow, these people's legs, I could objectify them for sure.
Like I don't know, it was interesting. Like they picked some really beautiful actors. Like they had a great like weirdly feline looking cast. So they didn't like, I don't know. I feel like they could have gone the route of just like suits, like rubber suits or something with like some hair and like really gone all in on the makeup, and it probably would have turned out less of a laughingstock than trying to use a PS2 iToy to insert faces onto CGI monstrosities. But I don't know.
We should return to this because we do have some other housekeeping to get through.
We do. Let's do some housekeeping. Let's do a little dig in the garden, plant some plants, sow some seeds. We got to get this episode started off right.
It's a really good soil nutrient, Avery.
Phosphorus.
5-star reviews on iTunes is what I was going to say.
That was the second thing I was going to say. Leave us 5 stars on iTunes if you guys like what you hear. If you don't, then I don't know.
Our crops will die. And,
our crops will die and we'll starve to death.
Opa America style.
It's a great metaphor. You ever heard of the Dust Bowl? Yeah, that's what it's like here for the story. Just kidding. Just like,
we're freaking pilgrims, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Frontier. That's all I have to say there. Anyway, yeah, leave us 5 stars if you like what you hear. If you don't like our idea of cinematic masochism, then just that's okay. You don't have to listen. We get it. So where are we at here? We usually talk about
what we watched.
Yeah, some movies, because I actually watched some interesting stuff. It's been a very odd and disappointing, yet kind of thrilling week for me here in Austin. But Ash, I would like for you to start. Did you watch anything interesting or noteworthy that you'd like to bring to the table here?
Well, I want to start by saying I have already seen the new Star Wars, and I'm very excited to get mouth breathers to scream at me on the internet because I don't understand their weird hobby as well as they do. I'm really excited for that because, oh man, I'm like I had generally okay feelings about it, but I'm going to be controversial about it. Cool. If you have a friend that you want to bring down a peg about Star Wars,
Yikes.
send them our way, and
sounds good.
I'll teach
and Ash will berate them.
Yeah.
Ash will embarrass them and tell them that they have a small penis.
Well, I mean, I don't have to tell them. They'll just kind of know.
They'll just know. You'll allude to it and they'll realize.
Yeah. No, I mean, what do you think the lightsaber is compensating for? Right?
Hey. Oh, my God.
I also watched The Witcher. Speaking of just...
Oh, I was going to bring it up too. Can we do like a mini 2-minute episode about The Witcher and how fucking silly it is?
It's pretty silly. The Witch Girl's pretty good. I have no idea if it's a good show, and I have 1 episode left.
Dude, it's like I don't know. There's something like I only snuck in on the latter half of the show. So I started at episode 5 because Sid was watching it, and I was just like, I'll stick around. I'll watch this. This is ridiculous. And man, there's the episode where he tries to save the witch girl, the mage from the djinn. He is put in this outfit. Henry Cavill is the Witcher, and he has this long shoulder length white hair, and he's zipped up all the way up to his neck in this motorcycle jacket, and
he looks like a bondage slave. It's
the dumbest shit. I was shocked.
The thing is he looks pretty cool, and then a well lit shot will come out, and you'll see the dumb fucking yellow contacts he's wearing. You're like, oh, you look like an idiot.
It's we were talking about something. It's why did Henry Cavill, or it's Henry Cavill, right?
It's not Harry Cavill.
Why
there would be a lot of jokes about that if it was Harry Cavill. He's got a real Harry Cavill.
Ayo. Yeah, that's one thing he's known for now. But anyway, Henry Cavill, it's just he looks so silly, and why did he take this role? Was his agent this is a good idea, it'll be the next Game of Thrones?
That's what they're trying to do. They just keep saying I not a video game guy, as you know, fuck books, we're not book guys here, no idea about the lore, but they just have been in the first 2 episodes are just them spouting nonsense.
So much nonsense, and I'm just kind of ridiculous.
I hate it. Well, but fun fact: the witch girl looks like my ex-girlfriend.
Oh, well, good to know. There you go. So you have some ties to this movie. That actually really is her. Yeah, it's actually everybody's ex-girlfriend. I don't know if you knew that.
No, I'm pretty sure that is Cats.
Oh, yikes. Yeah, well, we'll get into that. I don't know. I also saw The Witcher. And I was just absolutely sucked in for a couple episodes by how silly it is. Because the one that I started at was that episode with the djinn, right? Yeah, and he's there's this scene where he's throwing this net into the water and trying to pull something out. It's never really specifically stated what exactly he's trying to do. Maybe in the episode previous, I don't know.
He's trying to pull out the genie's bottle from the lake.
Oh, cool, because I just started on that episode and it looked like he was just fucking going. And then they just randomly found a genie bottle.
Yeah, he was like
weird.
No, because it's weird because it's like only 8 episodes, but it's like only kind of serialized.
Yeah.
Where it's like each one's like, there's a new monster and I gotta witcher them, which I'm not sure what that means. Sometimes he like shoots the echolocation from the Dark Knight at people, that animation, and I'm not really sure what it does. And then he has yellow eyes and a sword.
It's because he's cool. He's the coolest ever. He's the Witcher, Ash.
He just talks like Carlotte. He's just like
he does. He talks like Asher's character Carlotte in Dungeons and Dragons. He also
whole thing is that he's not actually cool. He's
he's a complete nerd and falls in love with this girl after sleeping with her like one time. Like
We've all
so
been there.
dorky. Yeah, we have. Everyone's been there, but and like I don't know. It reminded me of Christian Bale doing the Batman voice because he was talking like this the entire time.
Yeah,
it's like so silly.
Is Henry Cavill British?
Yeah, he is. I'm pretty sure.
It's sometimes he sounds like he's British, sometimes he doesn't in that show, and I'm very confused by it.
Yeah, I think it's because he didn't really have. It seems like he didn't really have a lot of direction as to what exactly he was supposed to do. You know, it seems like he's such a doofus. Like he looks so funny.
The only cool thing he's ever done is the 2 seconds of the Mission Impossible movie where he reloads his biceps.
Yeah, that's the coolest thing he's ever done. He can only go downhill from there. So we got to give him some props for that.
Give him 2 more seasons of The Witcher. I'm down to watch.
Yeah, I'll watch another season. Whatever, dude. It's so pulpy and dumb. Yeah.
Oh my god, it's so short.
I was thinking like it should have been like 10 at least. Like 8 episodes is really short.
Like, kind of where the sweet spot is. That's
especially for Netflix shows. Generally they go 10 to 15. I feel like is that healthy spot, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise it feels a little undersold. If
you're like a really daring, progressive, and consistently interesting show like Riverdale, you can pull off the 24 episodes.
I feel like 24 episodes for a season is like it's delegated to like 30-minute episodes or like HBO shows. You know what I mean?
You just got to get Riverdale, dude. It's like a shitty CW show. It is like has a 24 episode season.
How long are the episodes?
They are 45 minutes long.
Really? So it's a full 24 episode season of episodes that are 45 minutes long.
And every episode has to end on a twist. So it's just physically exhausting.
That's I gotta start this show.
Dude, it's the fucking worst show. I
love it.
I love it so much. It's so bad, dude.
Oh yes.
But would you recommend that people watch The Witcher? I mean, it's not a lot of content.
I don't know. If you have Netflix, like you're not gonna regret watching it. It's fun to watch just to like laugh at and be like, what the fuck is this? Like whose idea was all this crap? So there you go. Yeah. It's like there's something about like movies and TV shows that are based on video games. They're almost universally terrible. So
but this is based on a book that a video game was based on.
Okay.
Because The Witcher is based on a series of books.
Yeah, that may be true. Honestly, what people really know, I feel, is the video games. I feel like that's where they drew their heaviest inspiration from. So there you go. Go ahead and watch The Witcher. It's if you already have Netflix, you've probably already watched it. Like it's not that it's bad. It's pretty bad, but it's like fun bad. It's definitely more fun bad. Whereas Cats is just scary, ridiculous
Netflix
bad.
Makes like I don't know.
Yeah.
Anything else you saw this week?
I watched a horror movie called Class of '84 that came out in '82. And it was about this new teacher who goes to the worst school just on the face of the planet that has so much graffiti in it that it makes me wonder if it was actually shot in an awful school or if they intentionally graffitied a school for the movie. And I think it's the second one, but I can't be sure. And it just features the worst children ever, and they just totally antagonize this teacher. They like go to his house and like spray blood on him and stuff. I don't know. It was kind of fun, I guess. if you like watching like dated ideas back when like the 80s when the crime was still rampant in schools.
If I wanted dated ideas, I just tune into the news and learn about politics. Boom,
Bam.
political roast.
Yeah, nice.
Nice.
Yeah, in this political climate, all you got to do is look at Fox News if you want some dated content.
Listen, all you really got to do is like, kids, start spraying your teachers with blood like the good old days.
Just do it. Yeah, just like the good old days.
Back when America was amazing. You could just
make America great again. When you could just graffiti your school and had to go through a metal detector to get in to class.
I had to do that at a roller rink once.
Really?
Yeah.
Where was the roller rink?
Like Crenshaw.
Interesting. Was this recently?
It was like a year ago.
What? Really?
Yeah. Well, like it's gang neighborhood. It's like a very heavy, Crip presence. So, yeah, pretty fun.
Fascinating. Well, there you have it. That's still alive today. Interesting.
Yeah. There are still gangs. They still exist, believe it or not.
Yeah. So where are we at here? Because we got to talk about some budget stuff, right?
That's correct.
So we're moving into cats. We're fully in cats now. The cats portion of the episode.
Avery, that's disgusting. Put the cat down.
But I wanted to know before we really launch the budget breakdown here. Mm-hmm. What are you able? Do you have statistics on both the movie, the VHS adaptation, and all from 1998, and the play from 1981? Do you have any of that information? Please tell me you do.
No, because I don't care.
Okay, fair enough. I was like, I'm vaguely curious, but I get it. Cool.
I mean, I don't think you can get budget statistics for the play. Like that's
I don't
weird.
think so either. Yeah, that's a little harder to get. But for the VHS adaptation, or the VHS adaptation was just
just a recording of
the play.
Shows.
Yeah, exactly. So let's see if I can find something on that. Anyway, all right. Well, let's get into this.
All right. Do 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 do.
This is the budget breakdown.
Wow, well done. Probably the best musical number in the entire movie, right?
I have a couple I kind of like, but also Jennifer Hudson was way extra. That was her only good song.
Super extra the entire time, but like kind of nailed the song. I was impressed. We'll talk about that in the pros, but because there are definitely some pros here, but
there are some pros. It's pretty wild.
I'm glad we took some time to process it. But hit me with some budget stuff, and we'll really get into this.
Guess, boy. Guess how much this movie costs.
Probably more than I'm expecting. I want to say a mismanaged $55 million.
Incorrect.
Oh shit! How much was it?
$95 million US dollars.
Shit! No fucking way. $95 million, and that's what's reported too.
That's what's reported. Well, you gotta look. Listen, you got a famous talk show host. Got Judi Dench.
I thought Judi Dench was like actually the Queen of England during this movie. I was like, how'd they get the Queen?
You have like awesome. Jason Derulo.
Yeah, Jason Derulo.
11, I think, platinum records. You got
11?
or maybe platinum singles.
Maybe
Elba,
singles. Yeah.
Ian McKellen, Taylor Swift, Rebel Wilson.
A whole bunch of people they paid a lot of money to be in this movie and underperformed.
Yeah. Care to guess how much this movie has made?
I know it was bad. I know that it didn't have a wide theatrical release. I think over the weekend it made like $7 million or something like that.
So, as of now, internationally, it has made $11 million. 6.6 of which was domestic. So it is not doing great.
No, not at all.
It is ranked all-time domestic box office at 5,775.
Oh no! This could be a long segment.
Inflation-adjusted box office rank 5,973. All-time domestic box office for PG movies 1,016th. And it did well with operas, 22nd. But the one we're going to talk about today is the one it came in 96th for. All-time domestic box office for musical movies.
Oh, this is going to be easy. There's like a handful of musicals that like everyone knows and probably everyone's seen. I'm going to start with the most obvious one, Grease.
Grease is number 8. It made a grand total of $387 million worldwide.
Damn, that's not bad at all.
No.
For a musical, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone saw that shit. Everyone's seen that. I know Rent is probably up in there.
Rent isn't as high as you'd think.
Really? Okay.
I almost gave the statistics for Yentl, which is another one. 54th, it came in with a total of $31 million.
Interesting. Here's a callback to last episode. The Fiddler on the Roof definitely has to be up in there.
Nice. I was really hoping you would forget that movie again. I'd sing a song from it again, and you'd be like, oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. Yeah, it's somewhere in here. I definitely saw it when I was looking through this earlier, but now I can't fucking find it.
Well, it's in there. We know it's in there. It's definitely not number 1 then. 26? Okay. Yeah. What are some other musicals? I know that there's not a film adaptation of Spam-A-Lot. That's just Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of other musicals that I know about. This might be the end of my list. Okay, Grease is the big one. Rent. What else is there? It's not Hamilton. There's not a film adaptation of that.
No, there isn't.
That's too recent. There was an ad for a movie that came right before Cats, and like it was about like what looked like a Puerto Rican dude who was singing and living in New York City.
Yeah, that looks good actually, right?
I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be for me, but it's probably great. But I was like, oh, cool, they're adapting Hamilton, and it wasn't Hamilton.
What do you think Hamilton's about, dude? Hamilton's not about a Puerto Rican guy in New York City. It's about the president of the United States.
Wait, is it really?
Yeah, it's about President Hamilton.
Oh, really? So that's probably pretty old. I don't know. I knew that the lead singer guy was a Puerto Rican guy because he was on the John Oliver show.
Yeah, no, it's right? Lin-Manuel Miranda. He wrote Hamilton.
Oh, really? Very cool then.
And then yeah.
I'm sure it's great. Anyway, let's see. I'm out of movies. You got to hit me with some.
Okay,
some
this one's about a English teacher in Siam who meets the king.
I don't know, man.
The King and I.
Oh, okay. I've heard of that. I think.
This movie features a song that goes Xanadu.
Oh, it's Xanadu. Yeah, from the 70s. There was an ad for that before Cats as well. Weirdly enough, I guess Alamo is doing a screening.
I like Xanadu. You acted like you fucking figured it out, like some kind of genius when I just sang the name.
Honestly,
of the movie.
The only reason that I remember it is because like I would have no fucking idea. I'd be like, I don't know, like Willy Wonka. No, it's because that there was an ad before Cats for a screening at Alamo of Xanadu. So otherwise, I would have no idea.
It's a weird fucking movie. This movie has a lot of Beatles songs in it.
Oh, Across the Universe.
Yeah. This one's about our Lord and Savior.
Jesus Christ Superstar.
That's right.
I didn't know there was a film adaptation of that. I guess it makes sense. It's like the number one grossing of all time for musicals or something like that.
This one's in sepia and then not in sepia.
Oh, yikes. I have no idea.
It's from 1939. It's like one of the most famous movies of all time.
Is it Gone with the Wind?
No, that's an interesting guess, but no.
I'm just thinking 1939. I don't really know much.
Monkeys.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
No, that's a hint.
Oh, yeah, I don't fucking know.
Heroin fields.
That's what it's called?
No, it's also a hint.
Oh, just tell me what it's called. Oh, my. Heroin fields? Come on.
Yeah, they're poppies. It's a heroin field.
It all makes sense now.
Tom Cruise sings in this movie. I don't know what else to give you about this one. It's Rock of Ages.
Okay, cool.
Alien gives the guy from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids confidence to get the girl.
Man, I'm not a big fan of the guy from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Steve Martin is a sadistic dentist.
Jesus Christ. I still have no idea. That sounds really unique.
Shop of Horrors.
Oh my God, that's so good. Yo, I got one.
Okay.
Ready? The Rocky Horror Picture Show has to be up in there, right?
You think it's made?
It was made in the 70s.
$11 million?
Yeah, I think so.
No, it's not.
It hasn't. It's really not. The one musical that I know and like isn't in there.
Yeah, sorry about that, man.
Oh well. Let it be known. I like a musical.
All right. This one is about a town where they don't dance.
Oh, it's not Oklahoma, although that might be in there too. It's what is it? Oh my God, it's been like mentioned. And it was in Peter Parker mentioned it in Avengers. What the fuck is it? Kevin Bacon's in it. He says everybody dance. I don't know. Just tell me what it is. I know what the movie is. Oh yeah.
Footloose.
Gotcha.
When I had curly hair, this movie, the little girl in it looked kind of like me with my curly red hair.
Is it Annie?
Annie, yep.
I was like, I love when you do like hints that are just relative to your personal life. Like I would never be able to guess them, but that was actually like, it was
pretty, yeah. Yeah, I'll give you a couple more that are in here. Fantasia 2000, Moulin Rouge, The Blues Brothers, a great movie. Have you seen The Blues Brothers?
And I don't think so.
Blues Brothers is great. It's like a comedy movie. Oh. They have these like really ridiculous, like every chase scene gets more and more insane as it goes through.
That sounds fun, actually.
Less of a musical, more like Ray Charles is in it, and like just like kind of cool musicians do musical things.
So it has broad appeal. I like that. Very cool.
Mamma Mia, Les Mis.
Oh yeah. The
Greatest Showman. Beauty and the Beast, Frozen, Moana, Coco, Hairspray, Dreamgirls, Mary Poppins.
Wow, there's a lot in there that I definitely knew about. But I don't know. I guess
The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh my God, of course. How could I forget?
Todd.
Oh my God, how could I forget? God damn. Now that you're like listing them off, I'm like, shit, I've seen half of these and just didn't even realize. Damn.
And of course, of course you know number 22. High School Musical 3 senior year. Which is the only High School Musical to make it on here. I'm kind of confused why that is.
That's so strange. I wonder if there was like, I don't know, maybe there was like a huge resurgence in popularity around there. It took some time for it to catch on. It was a sleeper hit.
Oh, God.
Well,
I
cool.
know a song from that.
We just listed a lot of musicals. Now everybody knows where they stand in the world.
Yeah.
Which ones are objectively the best based on how much money they made.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Should we segue into our expectations?
We've kind of talked a little bit about our expectations, but let's solidify what we thought going into this film.
Okay. I just wanted to say for my expectations that basically the only thing that I was hoping the entire time was that this wasn't going to awaken something in me.
And?
So, I don't think it did.
I don't know. We were talking about how cute the lead is.
Yeah, I definitely feel pretty weird about this whole movie. Like, I don't know why they had to be sexy. It was a kind of a strange choice, but shit, there you go. It's Cats. That pretty much my only hope was that it was like, as far as my expectations go, I feel like I'm pretty tolerant of a lot of like bullshit movies. But I was just hoping that this wasn't going to be so uncomfortable for me that it was like I was gonna feel embarrassed during the movie, which I honestly I kind of did at times. So and like my theater was fucking almost full.
What?
Yeah, my theater was
Mine
almost full.
Empty. There was a woman and her child there, and the child asked to leave.
Oh my god!
They left in the middle of the movie.
Oh my god! Yeah, my theater. There was only like 6 showings on Sunday in the entire city of Austin, and so we had to drive all the way up north to go see this movie, all the way, like way farther than we wanted to, and went into the theater, and it was like almost full. We had to sit in like the second row. Because honestly, that's kind of like my fault too, because I picked the seats, and I was like, I don't want to sit near anybody else because there's probably going to be people there that really enjoy the movie, and I don't want my cynical comments to take away from their enjoyment. Do you know what I mean? Because
no one there was trying to enjoy the movie. Avery. Let's be realistic.
You will be so surprised when I tell you that we were leaving the theater and people were singing the tunes. Not even kidding.
Yeah, well, they have like 2 good songs, so I don't blame them.
Yeah, they were singing the 2 good ones, but like, but yeah. So there were people there who legitimately were there to enjoy it, and I was just like, okay, can't sit near anybody because first of all, I'm a creep, but second of all,
yeah, I just put my hands in other people's thighs during the movies. Just go, oh, sorry, I thought it was popcorn. Wink.
But second of all, I didn't want, because I knew I wasn't going to be able to contain my cynical comments, and I was like, I don't want to ruin it for some kid who likes the movie or some like old lady who this is all she has, you know. And so I was just like,
Jesus. No judgments on people seeing this movie, by the way. Shit.
So I was just like, okay, whatever. I'll just it's fine. And wow, this is something else. So we'll get into that for sure. But Ash, why don't you hit me with some of your expectations for this movie?
Honestly, my expectations were... I was expecting something truly horrifying in almost like a Lovecraftian cosmic element where like looking upon it would madden me more. And that's what it was built up to me as. Kind of disappointed it wasn't. It was just kind of like a meh movie based on a pretty meh musical. Like, it's not a good musical.
Is it not a good musical?
It's not a good dude. No.
It's just like it's been hyped. It came out in 1981, and they did a '98 VHS version of it, and now 20 years after that, 40 years after the movie debuted on after the play debuted on Broadway, they're making a cinematic adaptation. It's like
it has no bangers, dude. Like, as someone like I don't mind. Like, this is a guy who did Jesus Christ Superstar, which has super famous songs in it.
Yeah.
Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, yeah.
Right? God, what else did he did one other one. I forget what it's called. But
regardless.
Yeah, he's done some bangers, but also just generally his songs kind of suck.
I don't know what it was. It's like, it's so strange that this movie would come out when it did. Like, 2020 is not the year for a Cats cinematic release. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
But what about a Cats cinematic universe?
We are on the precipice, okay? You think you stared into the abyss for Cats? Wait till it stares back.
It's actually the prequel to The Color Out of Space.
Oh my god. I kept like thinking like I forget what it was. Because I was watching The Witcher when I got home from that, and I kept thinking like, man, what if there were like humanoid cat people in The Witcher?
No, that's a Skyrim movie, or like a Elder Scrolls movie, the Khajiit. Yo, is this in Skyrim? What the fuck?
This is actually Skyrim like thousands of years in the future after the Khajiit have developed an under society in modern America or modern London.
Yeah.
Oh man. So basically, and tacking on an additional expectation, I was expecting them to be far more sexualized than they were, which was really like what I was worried about. I was like, this is going to be uncomfortable for everyone involved, because there's going to be children in the theater most likely, and and luckily it really was toned down a lot, which was definitely to this movie's credit.
Honestly, it was pretty jarring to start with.
Yeah.
But mostly because the songs at the beginning fucking suck.
Yeah.
But like I got used to it by the end.
I did too.
It really wasn't that big of a deal by the end of the film.
Yeah.
Like
it was so shocking.
Like, oh my God, I've seen things that no human should have to see.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
those people are fucking morons because like, dude, just like eventually you get used to it.
It's definitely like, you know what? On that note, the musical itself is probably exactly like that too. It's an odd concept. It just is, and
T.S.
like
Eliot's fucking nuts.
And like the thing is that like this movie where it really actually suffers is really just in its composition of its plot. But we'll definitely talk about that in a bit. But there
are some glaring issues. But should we get into our pros since we're kind of already seeping into that a little bit?
Yeah, let's do it, because this movie, despite what anybody's going to tell you, actually has some decent things about it. And and I think I just want to start, and I want to say that the actors who were chosen for their roles, at least the leads, not the like famous people that they injected for star appeal, all were pretty fucking impressively well trained. Like it all, like, especially the lead actress. What's her name's Francesca Hayward. Mm-hmm. I have it pulled up here. She's like,
for no reason. Nice.
No. I pulled it up before this. She was like trained. She was like a royal ballet dancer or something. Like she's an impressive, like her actual actress. So
her line was that's a dancer. My mom was a dancer. She had really good pas de berets. Her her line on her arabesque was fantastic. No, like the choreo in this movie is pretty good.
It actually was. It was like, it was coupled with nonsense, but it actually was really pretty impressive. And that was like my biggest takeaway.
Because that one scene where they're just dancing and not singing, pretty fun.
Yeah. Do you mean the one where they're in the moonlight?
Yeah, and then there's randomly hip hop cats, which made no fucking sense.
Well, it came out in 1981, so you gotta take it with that.
I think that was modernized. I feel like that was not in the original. I don't know.
I want to say as well, the moments breaking away from all of the music and absurdity, where Rebel Wilson would say something ridiculous because she clearly didn't take this very seriously, and can you blame her?
No, all ad-libbed, I'm sure.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm sure. And they were like, "That's good. We're gonna leave it in." Thank God for that, because this movie was an assault on my senses. But they had like breakaway parts that actually were pretty decent. So good on them. But I feel like the music was also pretty palatable.
Most of it. I mean, like the first song is really bad, where they just say Jellicle Cat 1,000 times, and you're just like I don't know what a cat is anymore.
Yeah, I looked up the word Jellicle as well, because I was like, is that a real word? And it's fucking not. It's like based off of it's like an amalgamation of the word of like two words that they like put together from the poem that the original musical is based off of. So it's just nonsense. In case you guys were wondering, it doesn't really mean anything. It only refers to cats. It doesn't mean anything else anywhere outside of it.
I do want to say Francesca Hayward's solo in the movie was a banger. Like it brought up emotion to me. I thought that was done really well, where she sings to Jennifer Hudson. Poor Jennifer Hudson. They made her look so fucking disgusting in this movie.
Yeah, for real.
One of the worst ones, which is I want to say that it's a complexion thing, but Francesca Hayward's also of a darker complexion, so it's not
and they made her look white. She was a white woman throughout the entire runtime. I thought Francesca Hayward was white, and I don't know why. She was
born in Kenya.
Yeah, she has darker skin than I expected, and it was that was really odd for me to figure out who made that decision. That was a terrible decision. They couldn't have made her a slightly red cat. That would have looked good.
Yeah, Probably. I mean, yeah, that was. Yeah.
It's just so weird that like they played into the complexions of some of the actors, like Idris Elba, and Jennifer Hudson, but not for the lead actress. It's like, oh, she's got to be white because she's the lead. It's like it's almost
that
like that
was
seems
weird.
Like, yeah, it seems like that's the decision that they made, which is like gross and
there's more black on James Corden, arguably the whitest human being to ever have graced this God's green earth. Than on poor Francesca Hayward.
Yeah.
Another thing I did like was the sense of scale in the
I can agree. The set actually was pretty cool. I think it was halfway a set and halfway like CG. But they did a good job of making like the cats actually look like cat sized when they were like full size humans. And it looked like a stage, didn't it? Like the whole thing looked like a stage. And that was cool to me. So good on them there.
And especially like the house scene where she's with the naughty cats who are robbers.
Yeah.
Like where they're just like pulling out knickers and jumping on the bed and doing all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Pretty. I like the sense of scale there. I think that was done really well in a way that it can't be done on stage, which is what a movie should be. It should be trying to do the things you can't do on stage. I'm not convinced they did that all the time here, but that was probably the best example.
Well, that's one of the most confusing things about this, right? Is that nothing, at least as far as a takeaway from the movie, is nothing really aside from like basically just that was presented in the Cats film could have, like, nothing really isn't something that they couldn't have done on stage, with some small exceptions. And that's the most that's like the crux of my confusion. But we will definitely talk about that in cons, because we got some stuff to talk about there. But do you have any other pros? Like, I mean, this movie wasn't as like horrendous as people are making it out to be.
It really isn't. Like, it's weird that they did it, but it's not like awful. I don't know.
It's not like soul crushingly bad. It's like there was like moments, especially towards the end, when I found myself like at least partially invested. You know, not really in the characters, because they kind of weren't really fleshed out very well. But like at the very least, in like, I don't know, just the movie as a whole, I guess I found myself towards the end being like, well, at least I got kind of caught up in it. You know, So.
I say the only other pro was Jennifer Hudson's like that kind of fucking thing. Like, that was nuts. Like, she killed that. Her song. She's a really good singer, but man, everything except for that last song was not good. Like, let's get into cons. I gotta fucking. We gotta do it.
We've been trying really hard to come up with some pros over the past couple of days. Just to be fair, because you got to be fair to this movie.
Yeah, not that Avery's ever fair to wonderful films I bring him. It's like Tooth Fairy 2 or Mean Girls 2.
Damn it.
Fairly Lethal.
This movie definitely wasn't the worst thing that we've ever seen. I'm really glad. I just want to say before we get into the cons, I mentioned this earlier, but I was so hyper last night. I'm so glad that we waited a day to record this, because I think we would have probably just trashed it, or at least I would have.
Going out of it, I like, because of the background I have growing up around dance, I do have some level of appreciation.
Yeah.
I also was kind of a theater kid in high school. I never did
plays,
but I was always like, so I have respect for like some of the things they were doing. I love that it's not super overproduced. I do think that like legitimately the only, like, there are maybe 3 good songs, but that lead actress, I was so impressed with this being basically her first movie. She dances, she sings, and I think she killed it. And I think that whenever she was actually doing stuff, which was not enough, it was pretty damn good. And like, I believed her acting in general.
Definitely the strongest takeaway from Cats is that the actors and actresses that led this movie, that were actually trained as dancers, that weren't just cash grab celebrities that they threw in at the last minute, actually were very, very talented. And they were very, very committed to this film. And honestly, like, those are definitely the standout best parts of the movie.
I would argue that Taylor Swift's song was pretty good, though. I think she did all right. I think she did okay. That maybe it's just because the song's pretty good. Like, it did disappoint me in some ways, but I'm like, you know what? She was the best of the cash grabbers for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And then it's like a list. It's like then probably Idris Elba and Rebel Wilson are like tied, and then down from there, like Ian McKellen. What was he doing? What was he doing? He just so
who cast this movie?
Yeah, exactly. Like what the fuck was he doing?
Let's get the 90-year-old smoker to sing a song. Yeah. It's like, no.
And he like sung it and like clearly did it in one take because they probably had him for a single day and gave him $4 million to do it. And like it's like there was a part when he, like after he like pushed like a cat into like the a mean cat into the water when they're on the boat, and he like looks at the camera.
His name's McCavity.
And like he looks at the camera and says something completely like totally indecipherable. Like I had no idea like what he was saying at all. And,
well, that kind of gets into one of my big cons. Okay. I think, which is that no one enunciated anything like ever. I had there would just be sections where I'm like, okay, I'm hearing the word Jellicle Cat 50 times in a song. I guess that's okay. And then just like the first Jennifer Hudson song is just her going like, and I'm just like, what the fuck's going on? Yeah. Am I supposed to follow what's happening
just
here?
Over hamming it up. Yeah, man. I this is something like this has to come from me, right? I'm really bad at deciphering lyrics and songs. I don't know why, but I always have been. And so for the first hour of the movie, also, this is just indecipherable nonsense. So I was so confused. There was something like there was a ball and they had to like make a pick, or like they were like voting and there was like going to be like people were performing or something. And it's just total indecipherable nonsense throughout the whole first hour of the movie. It kind of becomes a little more clear later in the film, but not that much more clear.
To be fair, it is a ridiculous premise to begin with. So it's like kind of, because it's just like, okay, so once a year, all the Jellicle cats come together and some old biddy gets to decide based on the song in their heart which one of them goes to heaven, I guess.
Yeah, so I guess Jennifer Hudson died. Is that what happened?
She gets reborn. Because, like, she was sad because she was a glamour cat, but then was a hobo.
Yeah. And they put her on a hot air balloon and send her off away.
To space.
To space. And, like, the last scene of the movie is her just floating away. It's like, where is she going? They finally got rid of her, I guess.
One of the worst parts of the movie, which is Dame Judi Dench saying things about cats into the camera,
looking you in the eyes, the Queen of England,
remember, a cat is not a dog, and I'm like, yes, Judi Dench, yes, not a dog,
yes, my queen. It's so weird.
Your Highness, yes, of course,
yes, Your Highness. Your Majesty.
Jesus Christ. This is like
yeah. How bizarre, right? And so I don't know, man. It's the plot's complete nonsense.
The complete nonsense.
Complete fucking like to the point
none
where
of these people's faults though. Like
it's not.
The only fault it is the person who greenlit this, who's like clearly a monster.
Yeah, like why did they make this? The biggest con of all really is that Cats the musical hasn't been relevant since 1998. Right, which itself
musicals haven't been there. Like haven't been any good musicals in a long time. I'd argue like the last decent one was Sweeney Todd, and that's about
like
eating
more
people.
than 10 years ago. Yeah,
like it's literally about cannibalism and murder, which is pretty decent.
Which is that's fun. But like seriously, the 80s, like Cats came out in 1981, so even the VHS release of the play was almost 20 years after the original play debuted. Right? So people didn't care about it for 20 years, and then they released a VHS release, right? And then 20 more years later, they release a cinematic adaptation.
You know what? I think it's because Riverdale reinvigorated our love
for
random song.
It's like
there's no reason for this to have come out, and
almost 2020, and I think what's really, I don't know, I want to believe that this is actually really just like development hell, and I think that that's what's going on. Like they tried to do this back in like the 2000s and couldn't get it greenlit for 15 years. And so finally it came out after being in development for 15 fucking years. And it's ridiculous.
Of course this is Universal.
Yeah, it is Universal.
Of course.
And also, did you notice the Amblin Entertainment splash art at the beginning? Amblin Entertainment has been defunct for a while, I'm pretty sure.
They went into distribution with Universal like 5 years ago.
Okay. But like seriously, think of the last time you saw an Amblin Entertainment logo.
I don't pay enough attention for this to matter, Avery.
Okay. Oh, I guess that's fair enough. But
I know when they start playing that stuff, I gloss over.
Yeah. It's just something that I noticed. I was like, because it looked like they had new splash art. Like it was like rendered differently. And I was like, what? Like, what? Like, why? Very, very weird. Okay. Founders, Steven Spielberg, Kathleen Kennedy. So,
no, Dark Waters was an Amblin.
Interesting. So maybe I'm just totally wrong. I noticed it and like was like, when's the last time you saw something like
which
that?
Is horrific.
Oh, and Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom,
and Ready Player One,
and Men in Black International. So they've got their hands dipped in some deep stuff, but it looks like they're just like leeching off of Universal at this point, right?
No, I literally think that this movie was created because TV shows that do musical episodes is a thing now, and so like morons in production, which by the way, all production people are fucking stupid. They're just like, oh, they like musicals again. Let's give them one that no one's talked about because it's pretty bad.
It's gonna be great. We're gonna talk about cats again. People love the cats.
Yeah, like
my son, he has a PS2 with an iToy. It does this thing. It puts his face on a cat, I think.
This is totally a movie that was greenlit after a Snapchat filter was created.
They saw it and they were like, I could do it with cats.
Yeah, this is like the sexy dog filter for the internet hoes of the world, men and female, male and female hoes, mind you.
Oh, yikes! Yeah,
but the thotties of the internet got the dogs, and they're like, this is it. We'll do cats again.
We could do it. The technology is there. We can finally do my dream. Release cats.
All right. So who are the worst people? So Ian McKellen we've talked about. Dame Judi Dench we've talked about. James Corden was horrifying in this movie. like he's not like a skinny guy, but they gave him this like grotesquely cartoonish fupa.
Yeah.
Fat upper penis area.
Yeah. Oh man,
that was, and then also I don't know why you liked Rebel Wilson. She did the thing where she's like, I'm like chunky and clumsy, which is her only thing. And I didn't say
I necessarily liked Rebel Wilson, but I
you
will
ranked her pretty high.
But I will say that it was less awful than most everything else.
And Idris Elba was terrible.
Yeah, he was pretty bad.
And also, for some reason, maybe it's because he wore a coat most of the movie, but when he like was like fully a cat, it was like the most disconcerting with the body of all of them. Yeah.
It was yikes. It was some yikes stuff. I was thinking that like Idris Elba was gonna keep on like the cat outfit like the entire time, right? Like he's
like the trench coat,
the trench coat and the hat, right? Which is pretty much what Jennifer Hudson did. She kept a trench coat on the whole time, and I was thinking that that's what they were gonna go for because and I created this story that could be true where Idris Elba was like, I don't want to look like that, and wanted to have like a hat and a trench coat rather than just be a cat man. That's like what that was the impression that I got. I don't know if that's necessarily true.
Because it's like it was put over like a green leotard, and like most of the other people in the movie had dance backgrounds and like dancer bodies. Idris Elba is built like he was refused the part of James Bond recently. Like that's how he's built, and so it looked really fucking weird, especially like the top half, where it's just like he's just like built like that stupid,
He's
unrealistic
too muscular
superhero
he's
look.
he has that like superhero type physique because he's always been like surrounding those kinds of roles, and so it's like it definitely was jarring. And
it's like cat boobs. It's like, I don't need this. I'm fine.
Exactly. It's exactly like cat boobs. It's like when nobody needed this. I think what was interesting to me is I noticed like there were times when like the actual effects looked decent, at least what you were supposed to focus on. Like they did a good job. But if you like look off to the side at like the backup dancers and stuff, it was horrifically bad. Like faces weren't centered.
Blur. Yeah. Ooh.
It's like they knew it was almost like they thought like, nobody's gonna look at the side dancers, so it doesn't matter. They're gonna look at the lead.
Like
but you have to look over to the side. It's so jarring. Another con, and this is just on me. This is an Avery con, like a con of me as a person. I thought that the tap dancing cat was going to be Edward Norton, and I was terrified for a moment that even Edward Norton got drawn into this bullshit. And now in reality, it's just some guy who wasn't Edward Norton. It just sounded like his voice for like a half a second. It was like, no, please don't take all of my favorite actors and make them horrible cat monstrosities.
Here's a really me one.
Okay.
So after sort of they're doing enough like ballet stuff that I'm like, are they wearing point shoes? So I looked at their feet. None of their feet are touching their ground because they like basically put feet on top of the green screened ballet shoes. Like how they have to have like the flat front of the point shoes, so that they can just like stuff their toes underneath and like walk on them like freakish gorillas. Ballet is a disgusting sport. Like, it's beautiful, but like what they do to those people's feet is fucked up. Maybe we'll watch Black Swan. That one's fucked up. But anyway, everyone was a couple of inches above the ground. Like, they were very poorly edited on. So that's like
interesting.
Weird thing.
I'm glad that you mentioned that, because I think now that you like put it that way, I remember thinking like it looked like they weren't really on the set. And that's got to be exactly what I was noticing. But I didn't know how to like put words to it. I was like, I didn't realize what I was seeing until you mentioned how they probably had like feet. I remember distinctively looking at their feet. There's like one spot when you can see one of the cat's feet, and it looks like a horrible monstrosity as well. And for most of the movie, I feel like they tried to like take your focus off of that. And I think they did an okay job of that, but I didn't actually look at their feet, like, or at least try to focus on their feet for a lot of the film. But I definitely noticed it. My brain saw it. So,
it just felt off.
Yeah.
And another thing, within the first 2 minutes of this movie, they have a cat walk down a wall like Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, exactly like Spider-Man too. Multiple cats do that.
But they can't do that.
Yeah,
not a brick wall. That's not how that works.
Nope. But I guess, I don't know, man. Superhero movies are popular right now.
And that cat was Tom Holland.
Dude, I couldn't. I was just like, within the first few minutes, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to sit through this. This is almost 2 hours long.
How long did you take off in the middle?
Oh my God, like 3 minutes. I like went to the bathroom and texted you. Yeah.
I think that warrants a do-over. I'm going to put up an Instagram poll.
Oh, you're going to make me watch it again?
Follow us on For the Story podcast on Instagram and vote that Avery cheated and has to watch Cats again.
I have to go to the theater again to watch Cats.
This time alone. By the way, my mom was like, listen, I love you, but I'm not going with you.
You remember last week when you were bragging, like, yeah, I'll just get my mom to go with me.
So I don't look like an idiot. And then meanwhile, she's like, listen, I literally gave birth to you, and that's how much I love you. I'm not going to see Cats with you.
That's so awesome.
Freaking roasted by my mom.
Dude, your mom roasted you. Oh, that's so good. Your mom's hilarious. Oh, man. Cool. Well, there you go. Yeah, so that's like a punishment in itself, right? Like going to see Cats by yourself.
Well, luckily I was the only one to go in there, and then like I like walked out, and there was like this babe that works in my theater, and like what I did was like I like rolled my eyes and threw my head back, and she was like, "Oh, was it bad?" And I was like, "Uh-huh," and then I just like got out of there as fast as I could.
Yeah, I hope nobody sees me. That's good. That's a good impression to make, though, right? If anybody asks, it's like you have this like rock solid defense. Like, yeah, I do a podcast. The listeners voted. Just tell them that. Just tell them. You know,
don't tell
the listeners voted. We had no choice. Yeah,
my co-host did this to me. He's a murderer.
Wasn't my
and a
choice.
beast.
My co-host. We call it cinematic torture, cinematic masochism. No.
Yeah.
What else do we got? Because I feel like there's something else. There's something that was on the tip of my tongue that I wanted to say, and I can't remember what it is now. I guess it's not that important.
Yeah. A lot of this movie is pretty forgettable.
Yeah. It's like, I think the biggest takeaway from this is that it's not some horrific monstrosity. I mean, it's pretty horrific, but it's not as bad as people are making it out to be.
Yeah, for sure. It's like, it's a bad movie.
It's just it's just a bad movie. It's not like movie. It's not like catastrophic. It's not going to change the movie industry, you know.
Like people putting their Instagram stories and their tweeters where they're like, I can't look at my cat the same way. Yes, you can. Buck the fuck up. Like, you're
it's
fine.
Not that bad.
It wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
Like, it's nowhere. It's like, it's honestly better than watching the trailer.
Yeah,
so.
The trailer definitely made it seem worse than it actually was, which is pretty funny. Oh, here's a con. I was sent an article by someone, a listener, and the article is that it's called. Wait, here it is. Basically, it's an Apple News article that's saying that the people who made Cats are sending revised animation versions of the movie to theaters because of the backlash on the animation.
Who is giving this backlash? No one fucking saw this movie.
No, man. People saw it, and apparently it's so bad that they're sending revised versions of the movie with better animation out to theaters. It's like they rush jobbed it overnight after the opening weekend was so bad, and they're sending it out. And this has never happened in the history of movies ever after the opening weekend.
I've actually heard that the new edit will feature a pre-rendered version of the Hulk.
Oh, is that right? Oh my god, just like Avengers Endgame. Oh my god, that'd be so fucking good. Like, just out of nowhere. Oh.
Just Deuteronomy is the Hulk,
but rendered poorly.
Like, looking into the camera, being like, a cat is not a dog.
Yeah, so there you go. So apparently they're sending revised versions out of the film. That is
everyone
terrifying.
Run to the theaters.
yeah, we gotta see it now. We have to watch the official version. No, you know what? We're in the original like group of people who saw the original theatrical release. We're like OG Cats fans. All right.
Yeah.
And that's a con. That's a fucking con. So there you go. Right. There you go.
So should we wrap this puppy up?
Let's do it. Let's
wrap this kitty up.
Oh, ayo. There you go.
Ayo. So we're going to get into our classic rating section for new listeners. We give the movie 5 words to describe it, a rating out of 10, and whether or not we recommend our audience sees it.
Yeah, that sounds good. Ash, would you like to start?
Sure.
Oh, boy.
I mean, it's not great.
Yeah. Nice.
Those are my 5 words, because it's like, yeah, everyone's being a little babies. You know, like, you guys haven't seen truly, like, I feel like most people haven't gone through what we've gone through.
You might be right. Like, we've seen some pretty bad movies. This in reality it's bad, but is it really that bad?
Did you like it less than R.I.P.D.? Really? Was it worse than R.I.P.D.? Or was it like kind of, I almost have respect for this film as like this weird part of cinema.
I think I liked this more than I liked R.I.P.D.
You see? Yeah. And Ryan Reynolds is in that.
I know.
So
yeah.
And I think this is kind of tempering my expectations for Sonic coming up. where I think it's going to be like not as horrific as we think it is.
Just fine, like terrible, but just fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
So
not a complete offense, but I'm gonna give this movie like I was disappointed by this movie, but mostly because I was expecting it to be much worse, so it being kind of middling was meh. So I'm gonna give this movie a 4.
All right,
like don't see it, but like don't listen to people who are like crying about it.
Yeah.
Definitely don't see it though.
Yeah, don't go and see it. Like, not that you were going to anyway.
Oh, they were going to. Yeah. They have to watch every movie that we watch. That's the rules of the podcast.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah. So, where to start? Cats. I guess my 5 words are a horrible abomination, but right.
Right.
This movie made a great choice in not overly sexualizing the cats. I swear to God, that would have been horrific. That would have been just the worst ever.
Yeah, it made it real hard to jerk off to it during the movie.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. In the
once
theater.
Once that kid left.
Yeah. But yeah, so like that was your story from earlier. That totally derailed me. Basically, this movie, I'm so glad that they didn't over-sexualize it. I'm really glad that at least like the actors that were committed to the role and were just like fucking cash grab shill actors were at least like talented and good. Like there was some value there. The effects were horrible. The set actually looked kind of decent, but still, like, they didn't integrate the actors very well onto the set. I mean, it's bad. It's just a bad movie. The plot was complete nonsense. Like, absolutely all the way through didn't make any sense. Well, I mean, like, at least the first hour didn't make any sense. The second hour made a little bit more sense. Because they slow down and actually have some talking scenes. This movie was an assault on my senses. The first hour is nonstop singing, and it's nonstop nonsense singing with CGI monstrosities. It's very hard to get through the first half of this movie. I had to stand up and go and text Asher for a couple minutes because I was like, I can't fucking do this for much longer, and went back in and actually ended up enjoying the second half a little bit more. So stick through it if you do go see it, because it does get a little bit better as the movie goes on. And you get used to the awful cat people. You just get used to it. But that being said, this movie for me gets a 3 out of 10. It's definitely not as bad as everybody's trying to tell you it is, but it's still pretty fucking bad. So yeah, I would say don't go to the theater and see this. You probably weren't going to anyway, but don't go to the theater and see it. You don't need to. You can wait, at least wait until it's out on VOD, because you know that this is going to be free on the internet in a couple months. So,
do you think that this is going to get like the Rocky Horror treatment once it's out of theaters?
No, I don't. I definitely don't. Because Rocky Horror is actually good. Rocky Horror has some like fucking banger songs in it, dude. There's some like sick ass songs in Rocky Horror. This movie does not have the same kind of appeal, unfortunately. There are okay songs in Cats. There were some songs that I was like, all right,
amazing songs.
No,
in
not
Cats.
at all.
Like, no.
Yeah. So
just not a good musical.
I guess not. I don't know, because like I read an article because I was curious about the original musical, and I read an article that was like, Cats the film actually doesn't really do the musical any justice at all. But I don't know if that's just some theater dweeb like trying to justify Cats in its existence.
The songs do not slap in Cats.
Yeah, they just don't.
Songs in Cats are bops.
Yeah, there's no bops. Shit doesn't slap. It's unfortunate. But yeah,
you
that's
heard
Cats.
It here, folks.
Yeah, the for the story rating: no bops. Shit doesn't slap. Don't go see it. So
don't.
Like, I feel like that's the most important thing in a musical is the music. So,
yeah. Like, it's got to be good, and that's why there are only like maybe 5 good musicals.
Yeah, exactly. Like most of it's kind of stupid.
Like let's all be real. Like, everyone has a different 5, but like there are only 5 actually good musicals.
Yeah.
Moana, Frozen, Coco. I'm just listing the top 5 that were there.
Damn, I guess Frozen's technically a musical, huh? I never really thought of it that way. I always thought it was just like an animated. I feel like
a majority of like the old school Disney movies have like
we're very musical in nature.
Yeah, but they also slapped. I'll make a man out of you.
There's definitely some more memorable songs, right? Like definitely some more memorable stuff. So.
I can show you the world, Avery. Shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, princess. Wait. What?
All right. So, on that note, hey, music joke. Yeah. Yikes. All right. On that note, let's bring this bad boy home.
We're in a lot of treble.
Hey. This movie's bad. You don't have to go see it. We don't blame you for not wanting to follow along. But next week we're reviewing something that you definitely saw in the theater.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. There's no way you didn't see Rise of Skywalker. Everybody is going to see it. And it's apparently not very good either. I haven't seen it yet myself, so we will find out. Well,
have you only heard that from me? Because that's not fair.
No, I've heard a lot of similar. Okay. Yeah. It's a mess. It's a mess, and people are admitting it openly. So.
There are some things that I need your help clarifying if they're like as glaring of issues as I think they are once you've seen it, because I'm like, I don't actually fucking care about this shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
I never read a Star Wars book or whatever the nerds did.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I have some questions about some stuff. But I'll let the audience know if you've already seen Star Wars. I tried to let Avery guess the twist. He did not successfully, and I look forward to mocking him openly for not getting it. I think
we got to talk about that text thread we had, because apparently I came really close, but I was just guessing like bad Star Wars tropes that just seem like inevitably they're going to be in there. So we'll talk about that next week. Stick around. Or actually, not even next week. That's this week.
Like later this week.
Yeah, we're doing a double feature this week, so stick around for later this week, and you guys will get to hear our take on Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. I hope you guys all have a great holiday season, whatever it is you choose to celebrate. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah.
Kwanzaa starts in a couple days.
Yeah, I do people really celebrate Kwanzaa? I remember hearing that nobody really celebrates it. But
I mean, it's a minority, but like I don't think there are any. I want to say there aren't any Hindi or Muslim festivals around this time of year.
I don't think that there are, no. But
yeah, if I'm wrong, yell at me or whatever. I like other people's holidays because my holidays only kind of are okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna do some research into Kwanzaa, and I'll let you guys know what I find next week. So guys, again, thank you so much for listening. We love you all so much. Goodbye.
And when a crime's discovered, my cavity's not there.